Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
I'm Derek Master.
This is Scream Bloody Movies, the podcast where we review a horror movie each week, go over the horror news, and guys, do you hear that ringing? Must be
No?
the black phone, because that's where we're talking about tonight. The black phone. It's not one of these. It's an old style that I used to have at my grandma's. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm okay. So here's a real question. Did you guys ever have a hamburger phone?
Oh, no, I didn't.
I didn't personally, but I knew someone that did. Yes, I knew someone that did.
Did you have
I
one,
didn't
Derek?
personally.
I don't know. I don't know if my grandparents kept it. I remember like holding one time and maybe making a phone call, but it was so long ago.
Yeah, I think one of my cousins had one or something, but I remember doing the same thing. Hamburger phones.
Yeah, who knows?
My cousin had one of those clear ones that you could like see all the inner workings, and it was like they were all like neon colors in there.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I was always pretty jealous of that.
Like we're gonna go on a tangent of phones, I feel like, and that's not what this episode or show's about. But I had like a clear phone. Actually, Zachary had it. It was a clear phone.
Yeah.
That was like purple, the purple one. That's what we had.
Oh, nice.
And then I also had a Dallas Cowboys phone, which was the coolest. It was just a regular wall phone, but it was like Cowboys colors. And Zachary, for some reason, I don't know why, but I think probably my stepdad, he had like a fucking NASCAR phone. It was a NASCAR.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a fucking... Zachary didn't watch NASCAR, but he had a fucking NASCAR phone.
Perfect shape for a phone, because it's a race car.
Yes. Yeah.
I think my dad had one of those.
That's
it was
my
like a
NASCAR
Jeff Gordon
voice,
one.
by the way.
It's a good NASCAR voice.
If anybody was wondering.
That's so funny. Like, Zachary didn't watch NASCAR. I have no idea why he fucking had it, but he did. And it's beautiful. All right, guys. We got a lot to talk about with the black phone. Not a lot as far as location-wise, because it's a pretty self-contained thriller, but we've got some ground to cover. But before we do, we got to tap into that horror news. And we'll start with this one here, I guess, because it's the one I pulled up. Paul Feig is directing a movie for Blumhouse called Worst Roommate Ever. Actually, I don't know if it's a movie. Never mind. It's a documentary series called Worst Roommate Ever. Hang on a sec. I messed up here. So there is a feature that he's directing. That's interesting as well. So I guess there's both. But Feig's film will follow a newly single woman who finds a seemingly perfect gentleman to sublet a spare room in her home. However, she quickly discovers that his lies extend beyond providing a fake name and falsified application. So Paul Feig, of course, as you know, is the... So it's based off of the Netflix series is what it is. But Paul Feig is the director of Bridesmaids and Spy and the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. So that's interesting that he's dipping his toe into horror thriller as well, going the David Gordon Green route. So fingers crossed it goes like the first one and not the last one. Last two.
I was going to say, I hope he can stick the landing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does this sound interesting, this concept, you guys?
Joke.
Does this
sound good to you? Yeah, I think that's like definitely one of my worst fears is like having, someone be deceptive about who they are and also living with you or around, like that's just such a freaky thing.
Yeah, there's tons of other thrillers.
I do it all the time, so...
Quite a few other thrillers.
My wife thinks she knows me.
With this, one of one of the most famous is a single white female, which we'll have to do at some point probably. Um, okay, guys, Judy Greer and Mark Hamill join the adaptation of Stephen King's novel The Long Walk. I don't know if we have we don't have character details for them yet, but The Long Walk is King's 1979 novel under the Richard Bachman name that he had. The synopsis is: the country holds an annual walking contest in which 100 teens must journey nonstop and under strict rules until one of them is still standing alive and receiving a prize. The story told of a 16-year-old walker named Raymond Garrity and the teens, some good, some bad, some mysterious, in his orbit.
Okay.
This is one that's been people have been wanting to adapt for a long time. It's a really good story. Just one of those that he would never he wasn't giving people it wasn't giving the rights away, but he finally did. But this is interesting because it's directed by Francis Lawrence, who is has a hit or miss filmography. Some big ones, of course, are like Constantine is one of Francis. I Am Legend. He directs bigger films, and then I think the Hunger Games sequels he even did. What do you guys think of this? Does it sound interesting? And with Mark Hamill and Judy Greer, that's great, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
For sure.
I was gonna say Mark Hamill, Stephen King. What? Sign me up.
Yeah, me too. What do you think, Derek?
Oh yeah, I'm on board. Mark's great, man. Best Joker there ever was.
Well, I mean, one of them. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
He's
Luke
our
Skywalker.
Joker, man. He is
He's
Luke
Luke
Skywalker.
Skywalker. What is that? Who is that?
Right.
You know what? I fucking love Star Wars.
Yeah, skateboarder?
Oh, did we ever talk about how much we love Star Wars on this podcast?
I don't know. I think we should every episode just talk about it for a while at least. Some people get upset about it.
Some people. Look
people.
at this, Jamie. I don't know if I showed you this.
What is
Let's
it?
see if you can see him.
Is that an
Nice.
elephant?
It's
He's
a Star Wars guy.
the piano player from the Cantina.
From the Cantina.
1983. 1980. Yeah, I think it says 3.
Yeah, it's the Jedi. Return of the Jedi, 83. That's cool. That's cool.
I thought you'd appreciate
Alrighty.
that.
Yeah.
Are you clipping
like
fingernails over there?
Yeah, Jamie, what the hell?
No, I'm not clipping fingernails. All right, here we go. Next. Guess what, guys? We have the cast. What the hell? Oh my gosh.
She's nerding out over there. Is what happened.
All right.
Sorry.
That's
Couldn't
loud.
resist.
Good lord. All right.
Sorry.
We have some casting news for the I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot. Apparently, there's a couple actors that are in talks to lead, but we know that the cast is Sarah Pidgeon, Tyreek Withers, Jonah Hauer-King, and the rumors still stand that Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are in negotiations to star as well. It says the model for the new take is the 2022 Scream reboot, which saw members of the original cast mix it up with the young incomers.
Yeah, they got to be the
Jennifer
parents, man, of one of the
Keaton
kids.
Robinson.
Got to be.
Or just they go to them because they've experienced this before. That's the other one. Because it would be a little too, I don't know, maybe too cheesy that they're like, it happened to my parents as well. You know what I mean? Like a little too, like, oh, what a coincidence. It happens to everyone in this family. You guys looking forward to this?
I'm waiting for the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to see it. Then I'll make my first impressions.
Seeing is believing, right?
We've learned our lesson.
Yep. The
Yeah, we've been
monsters
burnt many
destroy
times.
us.
Yeah.
Well, the monsters, we saw the trailer and we still were just like, it looks awful, but let's watch it.
Yeah, we were like, maybe there's like a tone that they're going for.
Yeah, maybe we're just
Well,
not
there was a
getting it,
tone.
man.
They
Maybe
were
we don't
tone
get it,
deaf.
man. Oh my god,
We definitely didn't get it.
we did not get it. All right,
Oh, we got it.
this is kind of cool, Derek. This is Jason Blum teases that there's a new screenplay for the Spawn movie that's been in development hell forever. It's called King Spawn, written by Matt Mixon, Malcolm Spellman, and Scott Silver. Jason Blum shared a tweet about it. He shared the script page. So there is movement on this. Are you interested in seeing a new Spawn, especially with today's technology?
Dude, I thought the Spawn from the late '90s was pretty interesting and cool. Yeah, I would be, although
Flexible.
I don't know about that title because I would have expected a reboot. And King Spawn,
Yeah. Yeah,
if
that's
you're just
interesting.
going off the name with nothing else, it feels like they're mid-universe.
Mid-story?
if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah. Well, I mean, it
Mhm.
depends, I guess, unless they bring Michael Jai White back. He's still in great shape and can still play Spawn. He was the
Oh,
best
yeah,
part of the
he
Spawn
is.
movie, by
You're
the way.
right.
And John Leguizamo as well is fucking hilarious in it. As the old Violator.
The Violator, is that what it's called?
Yep, the Violator. You ever seen Spawn, Lydia?
No, I haven't.
It's
The
very
Violator
interesting.
sounds like a horrible name.
Dude, I went to the movies and saw that when it came out, and then rented it a bunch of times and watched it on HBO. It's okay. It's not great. Well, we might do it for this
Man,
podcast because it has horror elements.
Well, if you are a 11, 12, 13-year-old kid, like, that movie was rocked. Now, if you watch it from, like, as an adult and through a critical lens, maybe not so much. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember, like, being like, oh, yeah,
I watched it.
it's awesome.
I watched it not too long ago, and man, there's some transitions that are it's in editing that is deadly. Like
I'm saying.
flame transitions.
But you remember what he said, Lydia. He went to the movies and then rented it several times. So
Right, yeah. So it
Young
must have been
Jane
alright.
I did.
enjoyed it a
And
lot.
watched it on HBO. I did. I liked it because I thought Spawn looked really cool. I liked the character when I was a kid because he was edgy and he was the biggest thing in comic books in the late '90s. But also, like, just his look and the way they made him look in the movie was really good. He had like those glowing green eyes with that face. You know what Spawn looks like, Lydia?
I think so.
Yeah, hang on, I'll show you real
Let me-
fast.
like,
I can look him up. I'm definitely picturing something in my head. but
Jason
I could be wrong.
Voorhees and a raccoon had babies.
Okay, that's a terrible. Here he is, Lydia.
Well, that's not what I was picturing.
That's because that's not a thing at all. I'm going to share my screen. You ready?
Oh, okay. I see
Here
what
we-
you mean by raccoon.
Yeah. Here he is. Here's the movie version of Spawn.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think
Dang
he
it.
looks
See, but
like
he's got a
Blood.
Jason vibe to his face. Am I wrong?
He's
I stand by
got-
what
yeah,
I said.
I
can
don't.
see how you.
I think he looks incredible. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
He does look really cool, and that thing with the blue face over there that looks really familiar to me.
This is the Violator.
is that? Okay, that's crazy. I did not realize that was John Leguizamo.
I know. So that should be fun. I'm down. I've been wanting a new Spawn for a while. I thought that'd be cool. There's some. Martin Sheen is a fantastic actor, but by God, he's terrible in Spawn. Oh my God, he's the villain, and he's like, Spawn, you obey, and you're like, whoa, twirl your mustache, Martin Sheen. And then the third act also takes place like in hell, and they have like the big monster, and he has Nintendo 64 graphics.
Yeah, okay, I think I have seen that.
And his mouth does like they couldn't animate his mouth, so he's talking, but he's just like, and he's like, and I'm like,
Perfect.
oh man, but I still have a love of Spawn. And then finally, this last little bit is hopefully some good news comes out of this. It looks like the Jason universe. Remember we talked about the Jason universe. Is making an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con this week. So hopefully that is good news, right? We're told new Friday the 13th activations will span a wide range of platforms, from entertainment, games, immersive experiences, merchandise, and more throughout 2024. So hopefully we get an update like on Crystal Lake. Hopefully we get an update on Jason movie. We're going to have some merchandise, which is like a little Jason pin and Jason shirt, which don't look the best, guys, in my personal opinion. I'll let you guys decide. What do you think of... The pin looks pretty cool, right? The pin's not bad, right? What do you think?
It's pretty basic.
Yeah, but it's okay, right? It's fine. But this shirt, guys, this shirt is fucking terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's just basic. Like,
Yeah, it's
Oh.
not.
They
I
put
could make it
zero
out.
Didn't they
I
use
could fit.
that logo? Yeah, they did. They were like, "Oh, let's pull a hockey mask off the internet."
Yeah, this one's not bad. This
For
is a better
sure.
shirt.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I would wear that.
that's a good one. Yeah, I'd wear that one.
About like what
Would
I got
not
on
wear
today.
this one. This one is fucking terrible.
You guys see my shirt?
Oh, nice. Does it scare you every time you look down?
It does. I'm like, ah.
You're like, oh. You look in the mirror and you're like, oh. All right, guys, that wraps up the horror news. Hopefully we get some F-13 news, right? It's about time. Give us some Jason in our lives, damn it.
Damn it.
Guys, picture it. It's a few years ago when this movie came out.
I can picture it like it was yesterday.
I remember it like it was 2021 during the pandemic. Because this came out, I think, on HBO, maybe? Something like that?
so.
HBO Max? I think it came out on Max. And because it played in theaters and then went straight to Max, and I watched it there.
Me too.
Lydia, this is what is this your second time watching it?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. So you watched it in that first run as well.
Mm-hmm. Everybody was talking about it. It was like, you gotta see the Black Bone. I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch it.
Same for me. I heard the same
guys,
thing, and I was like, fine, we'll watch it. And I think we mentioned it on the podcast around that time that we had seen it, but we didn't. We never got around to reviewing it. So, Derek, you hadn't seen this before. This is a first watch.
It was a first watch. Yep.
And you knew just very little?
I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, cool.
Really, I mean, I saw the trailer,
interesting.
obviously, and I had watched or seen, like, the cover art, but I really didn't know anything about it. So all the information I had was from the trailer.
So, in the trailer, did it make you think of the last movie we did? Like, that made you, like, draw connections and pick this movie?
No.
From the Last Key, Insidious: The Last Key?
Oh.
No.
Because that's what I thought you, like, fully, like, picked it because it made you think of this.
No, I was looking at horror movies.
I literally picked it because I was looking at horror movies and I was like, man, what movie do I want to watch? You know, I get a limited opportunity to watch movies these days,
right.
And so I was like, man, I really have wanted to watch this movie, so that's why I picked it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it going in either. Just the basic concept. I've not read this book, and not read the story, the Stephen King story. So, the Joe Hill story. So I knew nothing about the story except, that it was Scott Derrickson, who is the director of the Doctor Strange movies, in the other Ethan Hawke movies. What are they called? You know which ones I'm talking about with the fucking scary face guy.
Sinister.
Sinister. That's it. It's the same director, Scott Derrickson. So I knew that, and I also knew it was written by Robert C. Cargill and him. So, so I knew that stuff, and I knew Ethan Hawke was in it, and I knew Tom Savini did the mask because we talked about that on the podcast. That's kind of my little. That's all I knew too. So watching it was kind of a shock because I didn't know what to expect. And
Yes, and I remember being really nervous to watch it. You know, like a guy, you know, adult man kidnapping little boys was like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch that. You know?
Yeah, it's Derek. What did it? Was it different than you expected it to be? And we'll get into the fine details here later. But was it a different type of movie than you expected it to be?
There were elements that were a little different, but no, the premise, the trailer really kind of explained it. Now, I love the story. I thought the story was really great, but I figured that it was a kidnap. I figured from the trailer that this kid was seeing ghosts, but that's about it. But that's kind of the gist of like his storyline.
Right.
Right. What I meant is, did the tone of this thing kind of take? Because it kind of took me aback a little bit, like in a good way. Like it was kind of different than what I thought it would be, as far as the way it's the vibe of it. I guess is the way to say it. The vibe.
You know, here's the thing: if you look at the trailer, this movie, the mask could have been super hokey because it's big.
Yes.
And it's out there. But like the way they play it, and he's got more than one mask, and he wears it in different variations. And my suspicion is he's got like multiple personality disorder, and depending on who is dominant, he wears a portion of the mask or a specific one. But yeah, I thought they did a great job at that. But it could have been that could have taken it out because it's a big mask. It could have been a different different way they went with it.
Yeah, so let's kind of talk. So first of all, I like that it's set in 1978 because it eliminates cell phones, which is the biggest thing, you know, because this movie would be 5 minutes long now. They would say, oh, my kid is missing. Let's find him on the phone. Oh, he's down on 5th Street, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were competent as a abductor, you would ditch the phone.
But
yeah,
you know,
it could definitely complicate it. They could air tag the kid, you know, put it in his backpack.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. But I like it being set at that time because there's just not a lot of ways to contact people except for a telephone. And
news was different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's not social media out there. You have flyers.
It was an more innocent time, it seemed like, of... Well, I don't know if I could say that because there are a lot of bullies just like pulling knives in this movie, but
a lot of motherfucking knife pullers.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of savage, but like somehow
I got a couple things to say about all this.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, so first off, I've been practicing this. You guys ready for this? I thought the characters were great. I love Fivehead. Fivehead is a dickhead of a father, but man,
Fivehead. He's a very complex character, actually.
He is a complex character. Lydia did not like my Joker. She's frozen. There's one of those two.
Oh, she was laughing. Actually,
no,
while she's frozen with you, she's flipping you off. She's.
Wow, I see how it is behind my back.
So, the dad.
Complex.
Yeah, I agree. He's a really complex character.
Yeah,
because he's obviously a drunk.
For him as yeah,
and that first scene with him, or the first couple scenes with him, you're like, this guy's the typical abusive father. He's an asshole, beat his ass kind of thing. And it still doesn't excuse what he does. He's still awful
No.
for beating his kids. But as the story unfolds, we kind of get an understanding of at least why he's the way he is, and then by the end, he has recognized the mistakes he made, and he asked for forgiveness. What do you think of this character, Lydia?
Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, definitely complex because you really just want to hate him, but you know he's just suffering probably more than anyone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So to like the forgiveness at the end, it's not like the kids are like super happy to like, you know, they're like still like very much like this is something we're gonna have to live with still, and like,
Oh,
you know,
therapy for
Work
sure.
through, yeah.
yeah.
To put that mildly.
So a lot of damage has already been done in those poor kids' lives.
Yeah,
Man, they have had
Uh,
some trauma.
Yeah,
their
That's-
mother
This is just
had
like a-
that's not something you heal from
Yeah.
overnight or anything.
no.
No.
So Five Head, that's a great name. So Finn, our lead character, what do you guys think of Finn? Finn and his sister,
Dude.
what's her name? Gwen.
Badass
Gwen is the
chick.
fucking best character in the movie. She's hilarious,
Yes.
man.
The best character.
Yes, they both
Yeah,
did amazing.
Yeah, go ahead, Lydia.
Yeah, I just was like blown away by their performances. I think they both did spectacular.
I agree. And her lines are so funny when she says, Jesus, what the fuck? I fucking cry laughing every single time. And when she called she called them like butt fuckers or something. The bullies. Like you cowardly butt fuckers or something like that.
She's got a bunch of names.
A well-written character for sure, but that actress, man, she killed it. She did a great job.
Yeah.
And Finn did a
That
great job as well.
Madeline McGraw and Mason Thames. Mason Thames is Finney, and Madeline McGraw is Gwen. Yeah, fantastic, both of them. And I like their like kind of character, their arcs together, and their love of each other. Because Finn's arc is that he needs to learn to stand up for himself, and her arc is she needs to accept her gifts,
embrace her gifts for sure.
Which she finally does to save her brother, which he kind of saves himself. I mean, with the help of the ghosts, but she discovers the other kids. So let's talk about the grabber, guys. What do you think of Ethan Hawke as the grabber?
Yikes!
I thought he nailed it, man.
Oh yeah,
it was a very eccentric role, but he did a great job.
So here's the secret about Ethan Hawke is he always nails it.
Yeah,
because he's fantastic.
Not the first time we've seen him
he's
on
a bit
this
of an
podcast.
underrated actor.
Dude, never has he given a bad performance that I've seen. He's always fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how many Ethan Hawke have we only done one Ethan Hawke movie, right? Daybreakers.
Daybreakers.
Yeah.
Because
we haven't done the Purge yet. And we haven't done the Purge yet either.
I forgot he was in that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
did we do?
but Ethan Hawke.
We did Sinister, didn't we?
No.
Did we?
If we did, it was way back that I don't remember it.
It was. Pretty sure.
I've seen that movie like so many times though that I'm like.
That's what I was saying.
Talk about it right now.
I've watched it numerous times, so I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we've done it, but he's fantastic. Always.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like we did talk about Sinister because I don't know. Maybe we've just talked about it. Like I don't know. Me and Jamie just always end up talking about horror movies like everywhere.
We haven't done Sinister. We haven't done Sinister yet. So we'll have to talk about it at some point.
That's crazy.
Dude, we had to have talked about it.
Because we talked about their sweater, like how they moved into that house.
I think we mentioned it when we were talking about Oculus. Probably.
Oculus.
Because I just searched the back catalog and we've not done Sinister.
Okay. Interesting.
So, but yeah, he's He's great. What do you guys think of the name The Grabber? Because I think it's kind of fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
They could have went with a better name for sure, but
They call him The Grabber.
Yeah.
so at this point, the only
I
thing
like
that
it.
they know about him is, and which is unreleased, is that there are balloons that are found at the scene, and he's abducted. Like they literally have no information
Nothing.
about him.
They don't have a
So
vehicle,
maybe it's
description. They have
yeah.
nothing.
The black balloons are the only thing, which you could have called him like the Dark Clown. I don't know.
Maybe we should stick with The Grabber.
See, I'm making you appreciate the name they gave. That was my job.
Yep, I like it
And
much
I feel
better
like
now.
I executed it very well, actually. So,
Good work. Like they could have called him the A Slight Frown.
dude, I will hang up. Hang up.
The black phone. Will you hang up the black phone?
Yep.
That's funny.
So yeah, what do you guys think of Derek? This was your first watch. So when Finney gets taken, and
Mm-hmm.
when he separates from his sister, what was your anxiety building? And obviously you knew he got kidnapped
Oh, every
because
time.
that's
Yeah.
the story.
Because it's not the first time that he's separated from his sister.
Yeah,
And you know that he's going to get abducted. He's the one in the trailer. So yeah, there's the first time they separate, and then there's the second time. And so yeah, you're just waiting for it to happen. You're right. And then whenever you see that black van, because it shows up a couple of times, just wandering around looking for kids, definitely it piques your anxiety.
Mhm.
yeah, and the scenes between them are tense.
Him and the grabber.
Yeah, him and the grabber in when he's in the basement,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Just-
Well,
you're just-
not only that,
Man, there.
filled
Not
with
only that,
anxiety
but-
the whole time.
you have what, like 3 kids that you see kind of go missing, and the screen just fades out. It doesn't show them getting grabbed. So when Finney gets grabbed, it's like really intense. It's like, oh no, like this is not good. You know, it's like that's worst case scenario for a child. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So scary.
What's interesting is I don't know about you, but if there was like a weirdo going around kidnapping kids in my neighborhood and I was a kid, I would just have buddy system all the time. Never would it be by myself.
Well, not only you, but the parents. Although their parent was
Yeah.
obviously neglectful.
Yes.
But yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like I would have been like, you do not part ways. I don't care what you do. Because this
Yeah.
community was tortured. This was like the 5th kid that's went missing.
Correct. Yeah. So it's like just this dark cloud over this whole community. And when he gets kidnapped and he's down there and we're just stuck there with him and we see the toll it's taken on Gwen as well. And then we get the scene where he leaves the door open and we get the black, one of the early black phone calls, and he tells him not to
Mhm.
go upstairs. Dude, when it shows the grabber sitting in the chair with the shirt off and that
Ugh.
mask,
Ugh.
that's no bueno.
Ugh. So scary.
What did you think
Well,
of
and
that,
the dude, the bait man, he baited him.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there is no parallel to these 2 movies or 3 movies, but I just kept thinking, man, this could be a really cool connection to The Shining. Because it seems like the 2 of them have a little bit of, I'll call it The Shining only because I made that parallel, but like they're gifted. They have because I think he, to an extent, he has it too. His sister seems to have a stronger pull to that, but yeah, those phone calls they saved his life in every aspect. But
Yeah,
yeah, he wants you to play the game. What do you call it? He wanted you to be the
naughty boy.
naughty boy. He wants to play naughty boy. My God, man! Like just
Scary.
when they say it in that context, you're just like it gives you the creepy crawlies.
Yeah, it's nasty. Yeah.
It is. With every connotation that you can think of, it creeps you out.
Yeah.
Ooh, heebie-jeebies.
I think they
Mhm.
handled it so well too to like keep this movie like enjoyable, to not push
Uh-huh.
that boundary, other than like like maybe two words that make you slightly uncomfortable, like that, like naughty boy. You're like, ooh, no, not good. But they do not push it any further than that, like
Well, what's
sexually.
also
You know what I mean?
yeah, what's also
Because that's where
interesting
you're
is
like, that's you're like, oh no, this guy's a
well,
total perv.
what's really interesting is what I talked about the tone of this movie is it's very tense. Like it's very tense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But it's
it's
broken up with
sad.
some. It is, but it's not as sad as I remember it being. Like I was like, man, I got to gear up because it's a dark movie, and it is to a degree, of course, but it also is a crowd pleaser. Like
Yes.
there's some really good bits of comedy in there, especially from Gwen. Kind of
Hmm.
breaking up the tension. There's some one-liners from Finney even, and then the movie moves at such a nice pace that we're not stuck on the torture. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like torture porn or you know what I mean? A movie that's punishing
Right.
the audience. We're just on this
Yes.
journey with Finn. And when he goes upstairs, this when the uh, when the grabber is asleep in the chair and he's trying to sneak out is so tense, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You keep waiting for him to wake up.
So tense, and like remember the numbers and all the, to the combination lock,
Yeah.
and the noise, a noise happens and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and the way it's framed, he frames it to where you see kind of the grabber in the background. So you're 100%, and he frames it
Uh-huh.
to where Finn is taking up this part of the frame. So you're
Mhm.
expecting the grabber to show up. I mean, you're just waiting
Yeah.
for it. That we're
Yep.
Or turn
conditioned
ahead
as
or something like
for
that. Yeah.
yeah, as horror filmmakers and horror film watchers, we're conditioned to think that's what's going to happen, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. So we're just the entire time waiting for it. And then he
Yes.
pops the lock and the dog bounces, which is our
Yeah.
scare. And the grabber's eyes
Mhm.
snap open. It's so good. I'm like, mm. Also,
And he's
by the
got this
way,
head start.
yeah, like when he's out there and he grabs him, I don't know. I probably would have fucking take my chances with him trying to stab me, because it's like, okay, so if you do stab me, you're gonna get caught anyway. So you know, you might just want to let me go, because fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. Or instead
And
of aimlessly running down the street, run directly to somebody's house.
directly to a house, yeah, I would have ran sprinted across the street and just knocked on the first door I seen. You know what I mean?
But that could have been bad too, because the house
If
across
it
the
was the
street
one directly
was his
across, but
house.
but if it was just anywhere, like he
Yeah.
runs, but he just runs, I would have fucking boop, 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 and then yelled as
Yeah.
loud as I could.
It's frustrating because you're like,
I know.
oh, he had it.
He's
He
so
got
close,
it.
and then he gets punished because of, well, we never get to see him get punished because he doesn't have time, because we haven't talked about his brother, the grabber's
Yes.
brother,
Oh man.
Yes.
good old Max. What do you guys think of Max?
Amazing.
Dude,
It's
Max,
kind of hilarious.
he is really hilarious, and
It's not his
to
first
his
time on
credit,
here
that
either.
no, it's not. I forget what. I can't name the name, but yeah, he's been on here. Oh, was he on?
He's in it.
He's it. He's Eddie from It,
Yes.
Chapter 2.
You're right.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, dude, his cracked out head, man. He pieces it together, but he really throws a wrench in everything that the grabber wanted to do, which
He
the,
does.
the the other kids allude to. Like, there's a point where there's at least a different. I don't know how it would have played out because it didn't play out that way. But if he would have not lied to him, would he have let him go? Would he not have let it? No one knows.
No, I don't think he would have, but I think it was still all a test. But who knows?
I think he just
Yeah.
said that just to hurt him.
Can I
Yeah.
can I make one?
Because they already have the
slight
sad mask
detour?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I make one slight detour? The I don't know how much they paid for the fight choreographer, but man, They paid too much because what I'm saying is these fights were unrealistic for being high school kids. You know what I'm talking about?
And
Like
maybe in
tough.
1978, especially.
Good fight scene. Like these kids were like excellent fighters, and maybe that like
Yeah.
is a glimpse as to like give you a better idea of how serious this guy is. Like these two excellent kids were good fighters, and they couldn't take him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that was the play.
Yeah, if they weren't ambushed, well, here's the thing: if they weren't ambushed
him
by the
out.
grabber, they would have beat his ass with ease. Yes, like there's no question.
Tricks him.
But he tricks them, and that's how. Finn almost doesn't fall for it. Like right at the last minute, he realizes, but it's too late.
Thing.
Yeah, so
The
it's
balloons
too late.
that his sister was talking about kind of
Yeah.
gave him a hint.
He at least gets
Yeah.
he digs into him with his flashlight.
Yep, he does. He gets a hit in, and so I'm kind of sad that Max dies because it's funny, he means well. I mean, yeah, he's a cokehead, but he means well, and once he realizes what's going on, he does try to save Finney. Like he's not like he just
He's like, man,
is like, oh no.
you won't believe how I figured it out. And then he gets an axe in the head. I do love the line.
Yeah.
He was like, Max was an idiot, but he was my idiot. Well, let me.
Yeah.
Couldn't have loved him that much. Just put a fucking
Just
axe in his head.
Axe through his head. Yeah. So, Derek, what do you think of the grabber's demise? Because that's your first time seeing it.
I loved it. I loved it because they called back to the opening. I think it was the opening scene.
It's all the stuff.
Early on.
It's all of the stuff that the Black Phone calls were. It's the string.
Well,
it's the carpet.
Yeah,
it's the hole.
Yeah.
It's the phone. It's the rocket. It's all of it. Yeah.
It's so well orchestrated, and it pays off
because it's
every
also
little breadcrumb that
in
they
the
gave
freezer.
you, and it
all
also
of it.
gives because it helps him with the dog.
Yeah.
He overcomes like that thing that he was trying to do, right, which was to stand up for himself. Like it's a full circle moment in every aspect, and I love how because there's a hint that the grabber heard the phone once whenever he was I don't know, but
he's heard it before. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he puts
heard
the
it
phone up
when he's
to
a little
his ear,
kid, I think
he's hearing those. Yeah. And he hears the ghosts talking through that phone, and that last line, he's like, and Finn has a like a prime arm or something like that.
An ace arm, I think is what it is. So here's what's great is all of the lines that they've said to Finn, we realize the context that they're in now. So like there's certain things that they kept repeating, right? And there was also the things that the bully kid was repeating that when we see it from the other perspective, he wasn't just talking, like when he's like, this is where it happens. He was actually talking to Gwynny. He's talking to Gwyn.
Yeah.
In her dream. So I loved that.
I found a flaw.
What's that?
So I had this thought when I was watching the dog. The dog thing brought my curiosity up, and I was like, okay, I think that is like a Cane Corso or a Cane Corso dog. And this movie was in 78, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so that specific dog breed was not introduced to the United States until 1988.
Get out of here, Lydia.
Well,
get out of here.
He 100% could have got it overseas, first of all. But even if not, yeah. Also, they probably didn't give a shit. They were like, "This dog looks cool. This is the dog that's going to be."
Oh, immediately I was like, "That is the coolest looking dog." They have these gorgeous bright eyes, this black coat, like so cool.
And cool ears. Yeah.
So cool.
Dog. But what's
99.9% of people didn't do, Lydia? They weren't like, I wonder if that dog breed was around in 1978.
Well, so it's a pretty old breed, but they were, almost extinct basically, and they started bringing them back, but they weren't, doing that in America. They were doing it other places, but yeah. So
did we ever get a job for him? What was the side of his van? What did it say?
I was wondering
he's
that
a
too.
construction worker of some sort, I think. Which is why maybe because
100%.
when he said he was at work, maybe he just thought he was at work. I don't know. We don't really know much about the grabber. But I love the ending as well. Like I said, everything comes full circle, and I I love the way that he is killed
Mm-hmm.
with breaking the neck because she says his arm is mint. That's what it is. His arm is mint.
Yeah.
And when he finally says, "And Finn's arm is mint," and he fucking snaps his neck. And so the whole time you're also waiting for him to get back up, right? You're waiting for it. The whole
Yeah,
time
as
we're
he's
going through,
walking
you're waiting
out.
for the police to. Well, you're also waiting for the police to say, "Oh, we didn't find a body,"
I
or something.
loved that misdirect, man. I loved
Yeah.
it. It was great because
Yeah,
just for a moment, you feel like the pit of your stomach fall just a little bit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a smidge. But then, I mean, it's pretty fast paced, that section. But that
Yeah.
misdirect was great.
Wasn't
Also-
it? Oh man,
also-
that's so cool that you felt that because I saw it coming again. You know, like as the second watch, I was like, they're in the wrong house. Like,
Yeah. No, it's so good. Yeah. And when they when Finney comes out of the house and Gwen sees him, there's also a moment where you're like, is she the only one that sees him? So is he
Yeah.
dead?
Mm.
And then, everybody else sees him and you're like, oh, whew, he made it out. Thank God. And then we
Yeah.
know for sure that the Gat Grabber is definitively dead because they talk about it later in the school. That's the kid that killed the grabber. So you're like, oh, so he's definitely dead. Okay.
he's all like confident now that he's murdered
Yeah.
someone. You know.
Yeah, murdered a murderer. Yeah. Snapped his his bullies aren't bullying his ass anymore. Like,
Self-defense. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't.
they're like, never mind. Let's not do that. Well, I mean, they didn't when Robin fucking talked to their asses either.
Yeah, dude.
Robin
I
was
loved
kind of
Robin.
like
Robin
fucking
was-
Fonzie.
Dude, he was like the Fonz, and he was probably my third favorite character in this movie.
Yeah,
'Cause he
he's
took
pretty
no
great.
shit, man.
No,
when
he
he's
didn't.
walking in the bathroom and he's washing off his bloody knuckles, like to intimidate
Yeah.
those kids, you're just like,
Yeah,
that's a badass, man. I won't be like that.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
What do you guys think of the
That kid had a
scare
future
of?
anyway.
Yeah. What did you think of the scare in the basement when you see the kid like suspended in the air?
It's pretty
There were
good.
two of them. Then.
I think the best scare in the movie is the first time we see a ghost when it's like by Finn. It just pops up and you're like,
Mhm.
whoa, wasn't because at that point we hadn't seen anything supernatural. We hadn't seen anything really gory. And then this fucking mutilated faced kid pops up and you're like, oh, well, there it is.
Yeah, the paper boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like the name thing sticking with me, like the fact that they were like, that's the first thing you lose.
Yeah.
He's like,
Your name. Yeah.
yeah,
Is it
that
the first
got
thing
me
he
the first time I
takes?
watched it.
Because there has to be a
Oh,
correlation
man.
because the grabber says he doesn't know their names usually until it's in the paper. And
Mhm.
so, and he's like, he never cared what their names were. And it's just like, that's kind of messed up.
You know what? You know what? There was one specific scene that kind of choked me up. It was after he talked to the baseball player, and then you see that kid's like home movies. Like it looks,
Yeah.
it's actually I think a dream.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah, but they're shot they're shot with 8mm, so they're Super 8. So yeah, it's definitely
and
home
it
movie.
just, man, your heart bleeds at that moment, and you're just
Yeah,
like, especially
Bruce.
yeah,
Bruce.
Coolest kid ever.
Yeah,
you're
because
just
he
like,
freaking
oh, man.
dings a home run on Finn, and then instead of just bragging, he goes over to him and says, "You almost had me, man. Your arm is mint." And you're like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
"Wow, what a cool kid."
And then he says
know?
that like so many more
What
times
respect.
on the phone, and you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
that sucks. It's so sad.
You know
Yeah,
what
that moment
scene
got me.
You know what scene makes me like I love, like it makes me feel good in this. It's funny. There's a really feel good movie or moment in this
Mhm.
movie for me,
Yeah.
which is when Finn is by himself and he's watching that weird horror movie with the blood black and white with the
Yes.
blood hand, and he's like, because his dad won't let him watch any R-rated, but he's in there by himself at night watching this movie, and it scares him. He's like, I was like,
Yes.
oh, to have that feeling again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, the best
And
feeling.
like, not only that, but like that his friend was like, "You have to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre,"
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
"Dude, this kid would not be able to handle Texas Chainsaw Massacre."
No, the tub scare. Now he probably would. He's seen some shit, but
Oh yeah.
prior,
Now he's
no.
stopped.
But yeah,
You might
he'd be
have
like,
some PTSD.
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
That I would. Do you think that was from a real movie, or do you think they just
No, it's
shot that?
it is
for
from a
this?
movie, but I got to see what it is.
Okay, because I was
it's definitely
wondering.
from a movie. I don't know what it is though. Hang on.
It was interesting because it was black and white, but the blood was red, and I was like, "What is this? What is going on here?"
And it was relatively
Yeah.
early, so you're just like, good job, guys.
Yeah, I mean it's up. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I like when the sister like has the courage to like uh talk to the dad about like
Mhm.
she's like,
Yes.
what if my dreams are real and I could find Finny? You know, like that's such a that scene
Oh,
where
God.
he like is like just shutting her down pretty much, you know, like just saying whatever he wants to say. He's not listening to her, and like the actress, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She just like kind of it's just like, you know, not looking at him, like no eye contact. It's like, yeah, you're clearly not being heard, you know. But then he like ends up taking her, like driving her to like look for that house. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, and so that you get a little bit of the backstory with her mom.
Yeah.
So her mom had something similar, but her dad said that, you know, eventually those dreams tried to get her to do things, like bad things. And he doesn't elaborate on that. So you don't know specifically what he's talking about, but, you know, he's afraid, and she took her life, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she did. Yes.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that he's dealing with that grief, and then the fact that his daughter is having these same things, and he tries to beat it out of her. I could see his resist. Not, I couldn't see the way he does it, but like having some resistance to it for sure. But yeah, the powerful,
No.
powerful scenes, man.
Yeah, I love that scene too because it's a very brave of her to approach it
Mhm.
because she has been, you know, we saw her get beat for it, right?
Yep, with a
Uh,
belt.
With the belt. So for her to approach that, even though she, you know, knows what's going on, that's really great. And the fact that how he reacts because, you know, him saying his shit, you know, like what he said to her earlier and stuff, and then for him to literally like stop and look at her, and then we get that scene cut where after she says, "What if it could help me find him?" and he starts to cry, then he's in the car with her, so he's like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
"I'll do anything to find my son." That's where you start to kind of feel for him. I think that whole scene is where you start to feel for him, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's not just like a cold-hearted, hatred-filled character. He's like just hurt, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's the train.
Hear that old train? Hear that train a coming? It's coming round the bend. I am not finding what the hell that movie is. I just can't find it. Isn't that weird?
That is
It
weird.
is.
If it's a real movie, maybe it is, but I'm pretty sure it is.
That was a really great scene. I do like that scene.
Because it just makes me, you know what I mean? Makes me. Oh, here we go. Maybe this. Oh, duh! It's the Tingler. That's right. It
Tingler.
is the Tingler, the Vincent Price movie, the William Castle film.
Dude, I
The
found it in
Tingler.
like 10 seconds, man.
I found it too just now. I looked everywhere.
Yeah,
I
it
looked on
only took me 10
IMDb. I looked at other places, and I was like,
I,
finally, I just put because
I,
I said, what? I
Go
said,
ahead.
what movie is Finn watching? Where, what black and white movie in, the black phone? And then I finally said, uh, bathtub, black phone, and then it popped up immediately. I was like, oh, it's a Tingler. All right, there it is.
I
Fucking
put in
apparently it
black
was
and white
black.
movie with blood and bathtub.
I
And
didn't put all of that
Nice.
shit. But
I'm a
yeah,
very
it's
descriptive
William.
guy.
It's William Castle's The Tingler. His movie.
Nice. Gonna have
Remember,
to watch that.
that's the one with the fucking little things that like attach to, and then at the
Little
there's like a scene where
centipede.
there's the thing where there's a scene where it's in the theater and they're like, it's loose out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Classic.
remember now. It's definitely The Tingler. Not terrifying.
Yeah, definitely not terrifying.
William Castle movies never are. But that's a black phone, guys. What do you think?
I'll go first. So the first watch, I didn't really have an expectation to go into this movie, but in saying that, like it was a really good movie. Like it was suspenseful. The acting was great. We talked about all that stuff. Um, I love the payoff to everything. Like I feel like almost everything had a payoff. And a lot of times you don't see that in a movie, but everything had a purpose and a plan. And I can't rave more about how well those kids did. Um, in such a mature, and we've talked about that too, like how kids take on very mature roles. Like they did great. I'm gonna give this movie. I want to rate it really high because I liked it a lot. I'm gonna go with an 8.5.
What do you think, Lydia?
Oh man, yeah, that's a good rating because this this movie is definitely um it's definitely good. It's scary in a way that's like different than a lot of the movies that we do. You know, like there is something different about it, but at the same time, there's a lot of
Because it could
similarities
happen.
of like the paranormal. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Well,
there's
minus the paranormal, yeah, of course.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who's to say? You know, maybe that could happen.
Right.
You never know. But yeah, I don't know. The story was so good, and the atmosphere was good, and the time period is good, and the actors are good. Like, just it really hits all the marks that I need to. It's an enjoyable movie, even though it is kind of it's so such a dark idea, but it's also like really uplifting in ways.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
Yeah.
the morals are there, and it's just it's creepy, and it's really good. I think an 8.5 is a good rating for this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to give it an 8.5 as well. I ditto all your guys' points. The performances are great, cinematography is great, the direction is superb, the writing's excellent, and the story is just a really good story. Uh, yeah, the horror is different because it's not necessarily scary. It's tense, and so I guess that is scary to a degree. I mean, it is scary. It's suspenseful, and there's a couple of actual scares as well. But it's kind of a vibe. Like I said, you kind of want to. Joe Hill, like his dad, is really good at writing these kind of characters where you kind of want to hang out with them. You know what I mean? You want to be in that world for a little bit with them. And I really wanted to be in the world with these guys and hope that they're okay and hope that they're better. So I too, 8.5 for me as well. So guys,
I like the like Derek said The Shining, and I was thinking like a little bit of Zodiac, and then like a little bit of like Sinister, like sprinkled into one movie. You know,
there's definitely some Zodiac vibes. I mean, any movie that deals with a serial killer in the 70s is always going to get compared to Zodiac because it's a fucking masterpiece.
oh, love it,
dude. There's some scenes in Zodiac that are the most suspenseful scenes that I've ever seen in my life. That I remember the first time I watched it, I was just like,
dude.
Man,
The
and
first
then
time I
there's
watched it, I stayed up all night.
yeah, and then also this is funny, but another one of the most suspenseful scenes that I've ever seen in my entire life is in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when Cliff visits Spawn Ranch. The entire time, I'm just like, you're just waiting for the other fucking shoe to drop. You're waiting for it. It's a great scene. If you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you should because it's one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. Um. So, guys, here's the real question. Uh, what the hell is the Black Phone 2 going to be about?
Oh,
Dude, you could continue
two.
the story with the two kids. I haven't seen
Well,
anything
the
about. I
gra-
mean, we talked about it. I don't know if they mentioned any storyline, but you can carry on
the
with those
plot
two.
is kept under wraps. The plot is kept under
Okay.
wraps, but Ethan Hawke is returning as the Grabber.
Okay.
Jeremy Davis is returning as Fivehead. Mason Thames is returning as Finney, and Madeline McGraw is returning as Gwen.
Well, they see ghosts,
So
man. Maybe they see the grabber as a ghost, and he like pushes. I
maybe they
don't
have
know.
to
We're
maybe they have to
speculating.
solve old murders of him. I don't maybe. I don't know.
So he's
Yeah.
I
obviously
don't know.
had trauma. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they have to solve
Yeah,
his trauma. I don't know.
maybe.
Somebody messed him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, all we know is that those three actors are returning. Or the main actors are returning. So who knows? Who knows? Guys, who would Tom Atkins play in this? He could be the dad.
Either the dad or the detectives.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hard one, man.
Yeah,
Because everybody did a great job.
they did.
The dad.
Um,
Maybe the dad.
yeah, I'm thinking the dad too, just because it's a bigger part than the detectives. Detectives
Yeah.
have like
Yeah.
2 quick scenes. And no,
I did like
no.
them though.
Jeremy Davis, no hate on you. You were great, but yeah, I'd say he should play Fivehead, as Derek calls him. All right, Derek, you have a story for us tonight?
Oh man, I didn't even think of one. Really, before we get off of this,
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
the picture art for the Black Phone 2 looks even better than the first one. That looks great. Really menacing, anyway.
Well, here's the thing: these aren't like these
I'm
aren't
sure
official
it's not
posters.
official.
These are none of these are. These are all of them are like fan made posters. Some are great. Some are better than others. There's one I think
Yeah.
that when he's covered in the blood is great. The red one, that was
Mhm.
great. But yeah, you got a story? If you don't, we can just not do one. Talk about how you always forget to tell stories, even though you know we're going to do one literally each and every week.
I'll tell you, dude, this is a recent one. My mom. So you guys know where McConaughey Park is, obviously, because we filmed there. So
We did.
my sister had a birthday party for my nephew, and you know how there's that little bridge that you cross to go over to the pavilion. Man, my mom hit the side of that bridge with her car, like ran her tire right into it, which it's a narrow bridge.
Ow!
It popped her tire. She didn't like run off of it, but like she just got over a little too far and she hit it with her and popped her tire. So like I went to the birthday party and I get there and my mom's car is blocking the pathway. So some random guy who was there with his family was helping her change a tire, and it was very nice of him. I offered to help because it's my mom, and I got this jack out that I bought it, but I haven't used it before, and I felt like a dumbass, man, because I was like, oh, how does this thing work? It's kind of an advanced jack, and I know how it works now.
An
But,
advanced jack.
I didn't know
This
how
jack's
to lock.
Level 3.
I didn't know how to lock the hydraulic, the the jack portion.
Did you have to
I didn't
spin
know how
it?
to.
You had to spin it.
No, you have to put the handle in and you have to rotate. But normally, like there's a side one,
Yeah,
right, where you have
that's
to.
how they. That's how you
Nope,
do it. You put it in the back, and that's how mine is too.
yeah. This
You have to
mine's
use
not
the
like
handle.
that. Like when you put the handle in, the handle is like controls it. But there's no like
Yeah,
separate
you just
plates,
twist it.
and I was like looking for it.
Yeah,
I felt
yeah,
like an idiot.
that's all right.
But anyway, yeah, my mom did that
Hey,
and popped her tire and messed up her front end, and I'm like, Mom, maybe
oh
it's
my
time.
God. Maybe
It is.
it's
I mean,
time. Shady
to
Acres,
her credit,
Mom.
man, it's a really, really. To her credit, it's a really narrow bridge. Like I guarantee she's not the first person to do that.
Uh, yeah, I usually don't drive across it. I just park and then walk across it.
When I drove across there,
Well,
my truck's got 4-wheel drive.
Derek, do you remember when we had to change
Carrie's
Carrie's
tire
tire? Yeah,
in winter.
and you were not wearing a shirt.
Yep. I took it off and gave it to Carrie so she could stay warm.
So then he was
Very
wearing
manly.
like he was wearing like a towel as like a cape.
Every now
It
and then, I
was
let my superhero
ridiculous.
fly. I did look
He was
ridiculous.
just like,
Jamie's not wrong.
no, that was great, dude. My old car, I used to have like the worst luck with tires. Like I don't know. It's like my car was a magnet for every nail that ever existed, every piece of glass, no matter what it is. My car would always, I would always get a flat tire. And I remember one time I went to the movies to meet Derek in Kokomo. We went to the movies, and when everything was fine. We went and had fun at the movies, and then when we came out, my tire was flat, and I lived in Peru. So remember this, Derek? We put like donut on in the parking lot
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember
of
that.
the movie theaters with those terrible jacks, like the crank guys. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. And then I had to drive it like that till I could get my tire, and because I was a poor college student at the time, and so we're driving. That happened so many times, and I would always have to use that stupid twist jack. That's why I have a hydraulic jack, is because my tire broke on me all the time. So I was like, I need a fucking good jack, and I bought an air compressor so I could fill it up. So now I just carry those things in my car. I have a jack, an air compressor, and a battery charger, just in case. Man. All right, that'll do our show this week. Tell us your thoughts on the Black Phone. Do you think it's as good as we did? I mean, we gave it 8.5s across the board. Do you think it's as strong as we do or not? Let us know down below. Let us know what your favorite Scott Dickerson movie is. But before we do that, Lydia, you have to pick the movie for next week.
Is it my pick?
I
I
think
thought it was your pick, Jamie.
Is it my pick?
It is your
I
pick,
always
Jamie.
forget.
Yeah, she picked
Damn it!
last.
Nice try.
It's my pick. I always forget. And I have not thought about it at all.
Wow, how's it feel?
Damn it!
Lydia with the jab.
You know what, Lydia? Eat it, okay? How do you feel
Oh,
about
no.
that?
Oh no.
No, no, I don't want. I don't want to. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Trying to think of what I'm in the mood for. We just watched a pretty dark one. Maybe it's time for something a little more fun, a little scarier.
Like the Tingler.
I was thinking about that. We're not watching the Tingler yet. We have to get through House on Haunted Hill and that sort of shit too, which is wild.
The Bat.
The
I love the Bat. The Bat's my
It
favorite.
is special. We
So
could,
funny.
do the Price, the Vincent Price, Poe movies, the Roger Corman Poe movies. Guys, you know what I think we're gonna do? I think.
Oh.
Ah!
Jamie, you're taking too long. Derek is falling asleep.
Derek is
I'm
always
about to.
falling asleep.
Whatever. Clark woke us up at 5 o'clock this morning.
Oh, and it is late.
Mhm.
It's getting late. Have you seen my date? Tell me when the boys get some Elton John for you. You guys know that, right?
Mhm.
Nope, never seen it. Never heard. So you know what we're gonna do, guys?
What are we gonna do?
Because I think it's time for us to revisit Elm Street, and we are gonna watch A Nightmare on Elm Street 4: The Dream Master.
Ooh.
I
don't
think
think
they're
I've ever
all
seen
on
that.
Netflix currently.
I am not sure that I've seen this one. The
You
Dream
not
Master.
seen that? You not seen The Dream Master?
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to see when I get there if I've seen it or
Yep,
not.
when I get there.
I haven't
So
seen this movie in a long time.
they, I don't know if they're
I've
streaming.
probably
there
seen
anymore.
it like on like a marathon or something.
But according to this, you can watch it on YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Google Play, Movies, Fandango, and I think they're all on Max. They were for a while. I own all of these movies, of course. Of
Of
course.
course.
Of course I own all the Freddy movies. Are you out of your mind? I used to dress up as Freddy as a child. All right, so...
And he's behind you.
He is, like, 4 times. There's the poster, there's the giant Freddy, there's this little Freddy, and then this Freddy.
This little
Kind of a
Freddy went to
fan.
the market.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of a
that's
fan
what
of the
it reminded me of.
Fred man. I'm what they call a Fred head. All right.
Bit of a fanatic.
Next week, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Be sure to comment down below on your thoughts on the Black Phone, what you think about The Dream Master, and if you're excited to watch it, and let us know what movies you want us to do in the future. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow us online at HiLaProductions.com. Follow us on Facebook at HiLa Productions. Follow us each on Twitter. D Dogly Master, Lydia is Spooky, and me at Racket. Don't forget to stay tuned for movie updates. We're getting it colored right now. It's so close to being to your guys' eyeballs and ear holes. We're almost there. So stay tuned for that, and we got some big updates coming on that front for the fundraisers for it. So just stay tuned, and until next week, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. Remember, if you're gonna scream bloody movies.
Felt like throwing that out there.